All right. How's everyone doing? Ready to praise? Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to my lovely wife, Laura, the mother of my two daughters. And on solo, on the lead on this one, we have Gina Wesley. Happy Mother's Day to her as well.
Thank you. This is an important message. Y'all gotta listen to this. I want you to know that. Want you to know that. Oh, yes, God blesses me and keeps me safe from harm. Yeah. I want you to know that. God is keeping me. I want you to know that. God is keeping me. Yes, God blesses me and keeps me safe from all kind of harm. Yeah. If you got food and shelter, you ought to say, God is keeping me. If you got clothes on your back, just say, God is keeping me. Oh, God blesses me, yeah, and keeps me safe from all harm. If there's food on your table, you ought to say, God is keeping me. Yes, if you've got shoes on your feet, just say, you know God blesses and keeps me safe from harm. If you've got food and shelter, just get up and say, oh yeah. If you've got food on your table, just say, yeah, God blesses me, yeah, and keeps me safe from all harm. What's God? God is. Oh, God is. Oh, yeah. God is keeping me. You know it's right. Oh, when you lose your way, God says, you know I got you. When you're afraid of your own shadow, God says, girl, I know your name. God is. What's God doing? God's keeping who? Oh yeah. God is keeping me. Oh yeah. Is there food on your table? Then God is. God is. Oh yes. If you lose your way, get up and say, you know God's got you. Yeah. God is keeping me. When I forgot my own name, God said, girl, I know your name. Oh, yeah. God is. What? What's God doing? See, I sang choir. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God blesses and God keeps me safe from
Has God been good to you? Has God been good to you? Has God been good to you? You ought to say so. Oh, good morning, everyone. Good morning. You notice now you have your own slide. By the way, I have refreshed the PowerPoint. I take feedback if you send it to me, and if you really just hate it, okay, that's fine. But it's change, right? That's all, that's change, just a refresh. So my title this morning is, what is my title this morning? Yes, Consciousness is my responsibility. Consciousness is your responsibility. Last week, we looked at a spiritual principle that says you cannot earn abundance. Why can you not earn abundance? It's already yours. It is part of you as a spiritual being. That is why you can't buy it. You just have to be it. You possess God's life at all times, in all places. It's the awareness that we have to worry about, though, because often we are not aware. There is only one life, and that one life is God's life. That life is perfect, and it is my life now. And the abundance is a quality of spirit. That's why we already possess it. Spirit is our source. Remember, we talked last week that you have to recognize where your source is, and spirit is the source. It's not the job, it's not your partner, it's not even the economy. Behind all of that is our source is spirit. We used the story last week of Dr. Gladys. Remember, Dr. Gladys is 102 years old. God, I would love to meet this woman. When you know your purpose, she says, you have found your juice. That's where we ended last week. That you have found your juice. There is always a look of shock when people talk to me about my life now. The last year I've been actually very content with my life, like more than ever. Because typically I start a job planning the next one. And so, but I don't do that because my life is wonderful and I have divine purpose. But when people ask me, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I have another job. That's why I'm not worried about, another promotion. And they say, what do you do? And I tell them I'm a senior minister. I always get the look of shock, followed behind generally a compliment. That's actually wonderful and I'm sure it's very meaningful work. And it is. When they ask, how do you do both? I tell them, I don't have kids. That's my answer for everything. But daily I am reminded that I am living my purpose. And as I live my purpose, that's where the resource, that's where the energy, that's where the juice comes from to do what I do. My job is my purpose, and this place is my purpose, and I have the juice to do both because I am living out my purpose. Often in my experience in the past, I was living so far in the future and taking on every responsibility as an opportunity. Everything that Spirit provided for me, I looked at as an opportunity that often I didn't appreciate where I was at the time. And I didn't recognize that, but because I feel I'm living my purpose out globally, every way possible, I feel like I don't really have to look for the next thing. I live the dream of my life most days. You are really the dream of my life. You really are. And in that is all of the possibility. All of the possibilities exist if we use our intention correctly. Remember, it's the juice. It's where the juice flows. It's when you're living in your purpose, whether the resources come from, the energy and the passion in the juice comes because you are living your purpose. And if you don't know where your purpose is, look at where your passions are. What will you do for free? What will you do and you totally lose time? That has an indication of what is your passion. Now, on Friday, I took a physician and we decided to go look at a couple of sites that we have, and we went to Jackson. And when I went to Jackson, I said GPS, and we ended up in the right place. But on my way home, I didn't, and we were talking, and so I missed my exit twice. So I had an intention when I went there, because I went to Google and found out how to get there, and GPS taught me how to get there. I assumed that I knew how to get home, and that I can do two things at the same time, which I cannot, and that's talking and driving. So to me, I would say that wasn't an intention. I had a destination, but I certainly didn't have an intention. I have not really thought about what was needed, or I would not have missed my exit. We can have every desire that we have in life, and if it doesn't materialize, we have to reflect on the fact, not only reflect on prosperity, we reflect on our consciousness of abundance. And a consciousness of abundance is our responsibility. It's ours. If we don't embrace it and we don't take it, it probably is not going to happen. And if it does, you may not recognize it. So I had a destination, but I needed to activate my intention to make sure that I was going in the area of my intention. When I put my intention out there and I know where I'm going, I then set a course. My energy flows in that direction. And that's why I have given you that card this morning, so that you can fill out where you want to be by the end of the year. So our spiritual principle this morning is that consciousness and abundance is BS. It is belief system. What did you think? What did you think? Consciousness is our belief system. When we become accountable for our consciousness, we become what we intend to be. But it's all about intention. We are accountable for it. No one can do it for us. It has to be our plan, not our parents, not our friends. It has to be ours, so that the energy flows in the direction of our purpose. It's our belief system, and it will determine the course, the direction, and the consequences in your life. The intention changes our course. If you are living, you're living with an intention now. If you haven't selected what they are, it's the collective consciousness. And we know how in collective consciousness, just think about everything that is possible that could happen. But you may not have the prosperous life that you desire. It's all about that desire is what gives you energy and focus to go forward. So we're returning to the Art of Abundance, the 10 Rules for a Prosperous Life by Dennis Merritt Jones. And I have been asked just recently, just in the last week, well, Rick, what about people who are destitute and homeless? Do they not have a consciousness of abundance? No, we don't have a consciousness of abundance, because if we did, we would feed them. I mean, anyone needs to survive first before you tell them change your thinking, change your life. That's spiritual bypass. That's not accepting the responsibility that we have collectively as a community. I don't mean just us here. I'm talking about the people who have resources. We're the ones with the problem. And as long as we have the problem, because we could give it away if we had a consciousness of abundance. You can give it away because you know it's coming back. If we have this consciousness, we would not allow people to be hungry. We would worry about people having health care. We would resist the system that doesn't want to do those things. Change your thinking, change your life. Yes, we should change our thinking and change our life. Your change in your thinking will change the course. It will direct you in the area that you want to go. And as long as you are going in the direction where you want to go, you then living out your purpose. It determines how we will shape your life and your destiny. Your consciousness of abundance will guide you toward your destiny. Your purpose has a destiny, not a fate. I am not saying that there is something in life that only you can do that, or there's only one person for you to be with, or only one job for you to have. You can have anything that you choose. But living out your destiny as a spiritual being is a function of our consciousness. We create the abundance of not enough or enough. But if we don't create the consciousness of enough, we definitely will default to not enough. When you become accountable for your consciousness, your life changes course. Now, we understand that consciousness is like an iceberg, and I'm sure you've seen this illustration before, that there is the iceberg, the part of the iceberg that's above the water, and there's more ice below the water than there is that you can see. Our conscious awareness is the top, the mountain that we can see. Our unconscious mind is what's so big and large and underwater. And therefore, we need to train our unconscious mind to be toward abundance. But because we are aware, we know it, we can change how we think. We do not have to think the same way. You can have a life of abundance at any given point in time because it is in you. It's like a talent. It's a gift. It's just yours. When we lack prosperity, we need to check, do we have a consciousness of abundance? We look and reflect on whether we do. Anything that is prosperity is a condition. It is not a principle. And if it is a condition, it is what? It is subject to change. It is the principle that never changes. Abundance is the principle. Prosperity is the condition. And you can change your condition. Your consciousness alone determines the degree of abundance that is yours to claim. It's all about, that's why I hope you're here, is that we train our consciousness. This is what people do in faith community, is that we encourage one another, we teach one another, we represent the good and wonderful things in our life, and we stick together when things don't go well. And that we need a change in our situation. Your consciousness alone determines your degree of abundance. With mindful awareness, then, you can change the direction. You might not, and probably won't, change what is going on around you. What changes is our perspective of what is going on around us. It's the same thing like the glass half full and half empty. When you don't have a consciousness of abundance, you see it as half empty. When you see it from the context of abundance, you look at it as there's nothing but possibility there. And it can always fill up, and you can change the condition. This is being mindfully aware of what we're doing. So when things aren't working, check it out. See where your abundance in. Slow and steady is the way to be successful, because we practiced for years wandering through life without intention. So we won't overnight change an intention and our life always just manifests just tomorrow from our change of course. Just recognize, however that we were not directed, we may have to spend some time changing our consciousness. We change how we perceive the world. That's how everything is. You look at what you have and you understand that it is abundance. You learn to appreciate it and value it, because that is what creates the power for more to come. With this change comes a new relationship with the idea of abundance and the abundant universe. And why are we abundant? Because we are one with God. We have to move away from a society that says that there's only scarcity. Remember, I told you before, scarcity is scarcity. People live in scarcity. And we have been hypnotized to think that only thing we have to do is to get as much as we can, as fast as we can, no matter what, because that is the only way for success, rather than understanding we need to have an intention, because if we know what, Spirit will provide the path of how we get it done. Transcending a lack of consequences requires that we change our minds. It's within us to change what is going on. Learning to give will be a challenge if you haven't done it before. Until you have a consciousness of abundance, it's hard to release money and not have an exchange and someone not give you something back. But I'm not selling blessings. So that's not how we do things. We give out of abundance and a consciousness of abundance, and therefore it creates the cycle and the circulation that we need in our lives. A new belief system will maintain us in a different way of living. It is a living, breathing organism that is this abundance and this presence that is within us. I tell you. You are an energy conductor. Everything around us and everything is energy. Remember, everything is vibrating. But the question is what are you forming with that energy that is around you? We are energy conductors and converters. We focus that energy and we convert it and manifest it in our lives. That's what's going on spiritually. The universe is conspiring for you to be successful, not for you to fail. Understand the entire universe is there. That is how it all works. Without conscious intention, though, we don't point in the direction that we're going. I was leaving Jackson, coming back to Sacramento, but I wandered off. There are multiple ways to get back here. I took the wrong one. Not only did I take the wrong one, I missed the exit. So I didn't have a focused attention. And that is what happens in our life if we don't understand that we need to have one. It is necessary for us to have a desire to create that intention. Because intention is this quality of our consciousness. We bring things into action. When you know your intention, you're positioned to choose the consequences. Our intention determines the consequences, the results, the things that happen in our life. And yes, things happen beyond what we individually think. You did not create everything that happened in your life. People will say, what did I do wrong that I am in this situation? You didn't create it. There is a collective consciousness that we default to when we don't have intentions. Do the words that you read and the people you're around give you energy and life? Or is it a burden? Does it drain energy from you? That may be one of those things that you may need to change, because your energy should flow in the direction of your purpose. Do I feel worthy? It's always a question we have to ask ourselves. Do we feel worthy? The answer should be yes, and hopefully it's yes all the time, because then there is a possibility you are worthy of the abundance of who and what you are. Being worthy is there simply because we exist. So we set goals. Goals are these intentions. Intention, goals, if I was at work, I'd call it a goal. Here I call it an intention. It's the same thing, but it needs to be specific. We need to be really, really clear, or you wander around and you don't make it back to Sacramento. You just end up on a highway touring. But goals focus us in the direction. That's the what in life that spirit energizes. That we understand that we have this power. There is a power for good greater than we are, and we get to use it. And that power that we use forms energy into our manifestations. We arrive at our chosen destination, and we manifest things in our life because we have changed our direction. It is the disciplined, focused life. Think of it this way. An intention is like a laser. A laser has just a beam of light versus a light bulb, which will light up the whole room. The laser focus, being really clear about what we want in life, is very, very important. And again, if you missed it yesterday, just change your mind. There's no need of beating yourself up. Just start all over again. So in summary, intention plus attention times belief is a life worth living. That is the equation of the abundant life. Intention plus attention times belief. The power greater than we are gives us the ability to manifest these things in our life. An abundant life equals intention and attention. So that is why I say intention is BS. It is BS because it is our belief system. But I ask you, do you have a consciousness of abundance or a consciousness of fear? Our belief system will determine our destiny. You get to choose your destiny. You have the power for it to be realized in your life, and so it is. Amen. Let us pray, giving thanks and praise for all the wonders of this life, knowing that as I set my intention and my attention in the direction of my belief, things manifest in my life. That is the abundant life. And so I leave today with an intention and attention and a community that believes with me for everything that you choose on that card to be realized in your life by the end of the year. And so it is.